67 last week. We did a live stream. I want to say thank you. We had a good response on that for both Boxing This Week 66 and the live watch along to Joseph Parker, Fabio Wardley, which is really the main discussion for this week, along with the fight cards on the weekend. Now, obviously, we are joined by me, Connor, every week, and Paolo every week. Paolo, why are we late today? Because I want you to explain to the people, pushing one out, the 3 words that I got on message.
Listen, man, Mother Nature, it's cool. So you have to wait a couple minutes. Connor got the graphical one, but it's because, do you know what it is, yeah? To be fair to Connor, he's here every week at 4:40, 4:45? 4:40, 7:40, 7:45. I am maybe late a lot of the time. So yeah,
to be fair, no, it's kind of mixed. But I just wanted the explanation because I thought it was funny. But no, it's fine. Like, we've got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. I think we'll start with the main event of the weekend, which was Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Hello, AJ. Good to have you back as always. Yeah, we'll start with that. Well, first of all, I want to say a very quick thing, and this is in no way disrespectful, but the fight card itself sucked. There is a 3 hours live stream of us sort of doing a watch along. It was just very
Connor mainly.
Us is in the community, the community, doing a watch along, and there was a point where people were sending in Photoshop edits. Just to kill the time. It was not the best card. I do want to say, because I don't know, we won't talk about it too much, but Royston Barney Smith is a seriously impressive fighter. He's one of my picks. If you said to me now, who of the British guys coming up, who's going to go and win a world title, I would say Royston Barney Smith would be in my top 5 for me. I'd back him 100%. I think he is a very different quality to what's currently out there. Ezra Taylor also impressed me as well.
1 second, Connor. Carry on.
Yeah. Other than that, I've got really only one complaint. There's a lot of prospects on there. A couple of debuts or second fights, third fights, whatever. Absolutely fine that they weren't the best fights. Jürgen Olderdash and Rolly Fogan should not be the co-main event. I understand it's an IBO World Cruiserweight title and all the rest of it, but that fight stunk. And whoever's done the matchmaking for that, and I mean, Queensberry are normally very good, but that fight really stunk. I don't want to complain too much because the main event was brilliant and Queensberry are normally very good, but that was... I think we had people in the chat counting down the time for that fight to end. So, yeah, not the best, but for anyone that does have an interest, Olderdash won, but it was a rubbish fight.
I've got a few comments on that. Obviously, I caught as much as I could when I was occupied on Saturday, and from my point of view, the problem is, the card itself wasn't great, to be honest with you. From a fan's point of view, it's not a very engaging card. But also, these people are paying 70, 80 quid, 90 quid, maybe 100 plus for a ticket at the O2. It's 70 quid, that's a lie. It's 80 and up. I mean, if you want ringside, it's about 500, 600 quid. Getting close to the front, you might be paying about 150, 200. I might be way off with those figures, but it's roughly around what you're kind of looking to pay.
Yeah. Well, for the O2, definitely.
Yeah. Like, I think the most important thing about boxing card is building the card itself and not just the main event. And I feel like... I don't even feel like they built the main event well, to be honest with you.
No, I'd agree.
I don't think they built the main event well, but I think, with all due respect, is Parker and Wardley, it's hard to build. Parker is obviously the away fighter, even though he's fought various times in the UK. He's from the other side of the world, and Wardley hasn't got the fan bases like Parker fighting Wardley commercially probably wasn't a great idea. Parker still earned in excess of maybe 3 million from that fight.
Yeah, that's the rough estimate.
But I don't know, man. Like the fight, I'll be honest with you, the fight doesn't excite me. Like it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It didn't excite me before, but really tried to get myself up for it. And I don't know what it is, but if I'm being critical of it, that probably comes down to card management of the full card, top to bottom. But the problem is we can't dwell on it too much because we've had really good cards and they're not always going to be great. And sometimes, you know, a great man once said, sometimes a good, sometimes a shit.
Yeah.
And this one was the other. But I was disappointed with the quality of the card. But to be honest with you, it's one of them, innit? Like it's not going to be the biggest card of the year. It's not going to be in contention for biggest card of the year. But ultimately, you've got a fight in the heavyweight division where you've got a mandatory vs a British champion who stepped up to fight Parker. Deservedly won, like obviously won.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, I'll be honest with you. In boxing, we're all thrown. There's two, like in my opinion, because there's so many belts. The word mandatory gets dashed around so much now. It's actually like mad. Like the word mandatory is a slag.
That's okay. That's one of your better ones. I like that. Yeah, I think for a pay-per-view card as well, that's the main issue. If this was free to view, then I think it's okay. I wouldn't even start the show by complaining. It's just the co-main event was really poor. It was like a really difficult 12 rounds to watch, and then the amount of time between the fights, it felt like we've gone back about 5 years to what we were used to in the quite distant past now, whereas we've almost come accustomed to the Riyadh season way of doing things, which still has issues, but it's not quite as bad. The main event itself was not, I don't think it was promoted well enough, but I was excited for it coming into fight week.
Yeah.
I big fan of Joseph Parker. You're definitely right. I think Joseph Parker is probably the biggest seller in the UK. Maybe not now. I think Wardley would have picked up a massive fan base now.
Wardley would have picked up. But do you know what that fight reminds me of, Connor?
Mm.
You know, I don't know if you can relate to this. You might do, but like I remember it, and you know, it's going to numerous training sessions, be it football or whatever.
Yeah.
Or for the American fans, soccer.
Yeah.
But sometimes on a cold night on a Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's chapping outside. It's cold for the Americans that don't understand chapping. Little word there. It reminded me of a football session that you really had to get yourself up to go to. But once you was there, you enjoyed it. Yeah. That's the best way I can sum up Wardley and Parker. I'll be honest with you. As for me as a boxing fan, it didn't excite me fight week, but come fight night, I turned into a boxing fan again.
Yeah. The actual fight was brilliant. I'm not here to give massive tactical advice. I do think Joseph Parker was too heavy. I'm assuming that was so that he could withstand the punches. And in fairness, he did. I don't know how either of them never actually went down. Is that Joseph Parker's best way of fighting? No. No, I don't think so. I think he would be far better. Yeah. A lighter Joseph Parker.
A lighter Joseph Parker. I mean, was he lighter for Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, for Wilder, he was about 20 pounds lighter. Same with Zhang. But for Cody, he was 267. This time he was 262. So he was significantly heavier for this fight than he was against Zhang or Wilder.
Yeah. I got to ask you a question, Connor.
Yeah.
Now, we said before, the thing with being a boxing fan is you can either have one or two things. We can have a scenario like we've got today, where we both got the prediction wrong, and then people come back and say, maybe some people say, "I told you so."
Yeah.
That might have changed their opinion after they win, and they didn't truly believe that, and they believed us. But we'll let that slide. I'll be honest with you. After watching that fight, are you still of the opinion that he should fight Usyk next?
I am, yeah. Because who else is there? Realistically, Joseph Parker should have fought for a world title at least once in the last year, and Dubois pulled out through injury, fine, but then he announced he had the Usyk undisputed fight.
Who's got more chance?
Don't get me wrong, I think Parker's got more chance, but the fact is Wardley's just beat Parker.
Take Parker out of the equation. Just look at some of the other mandatories. You've got Ajit Kabayel.
He's got a fight lined up. He's already booked.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying to you, like, had they have been offered the Usyk fight, he wouldn't have a fight lined up. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, okay, but here's my issue is we're talking about a bloke who should have fought Usyk or should have fought Dubois when he was champion, and then he kind of got stiffed. He had to fight Bacoli, and he beat Bacoli, and he now he has to fight Fabio Wardley, who's the other biggest puncher in the division, who's now probably is the biggest puncher in the division, and he's lost. That means Wardley is the guy. He's the one that should win. He's the one not win. He's the one that should get that fight. Caballero, we're doing VAR. Is that on the early stoppage?
Yeah, we need to go back, man.
We'll talk about that in a second. No, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
No worries.
Wardley deserves the title shot. Ajit Caballero's got a fight booked, and we don't really know how good he is at selling tickets.
Yeah,
because in Germany, Usyk's are massive. Usyk will sell tickets anywhere, but if they do it in Germany, that's a bit weird because Caballero is yet to prove. I mean, that's what the next fight we imagine is doing. Is Caballero's proving that he's got a pull. Like, he's actually got a fan base in Germany that will come and buy tickets to see him.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK, Ajit Caballero has very little. And even I wanted Wardley to win.
Usyk in Germany.
Okay.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I can't agree with that because I feel like, although looking at it first, it was an early stoppage. The problem is, and you see it in a lot of fights, when you're not throwing back and you're taking damage, the ref has to make a decision.
Yep.
That stoppage is down to Parker, not the ref.
Yeah.
If he was a bit more active, because clearly he was. I think we could all see he definitely could have continued. The problem is he weren't throwing back for a little period of time, and in that moment he was getting barrage of punches.
Exactly.
So the ref's got a decision to make. We've had too many deaths this year in boxing, man. I think health and safety probably was the reason it got stopped.
Yeah, but you got to look like what's the referee's job? The referee's job is to keep the fight clean and as safe as possible. Parker didn't throw back properly. On the live stream, I thought it was very early, and I know I said that a few times. I've said no, that is too early. Since watching it back, Parker did throw 2 punches. He threw a little combo before getting completely backed onto the ropes again, and the punches he threw were nothing punches. Remember Fury versus but that's on this channel. We kind of just call that a mistake. That should have been stopped.
Yeah. That fight should have. Fury was in a worse position than I think Fury was in a worse position than obviously I think Joseph Parker was. Definitely, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Should we be looking at who the fighters are then? As in, is it a case of Wardley punches notoriously like a truck, so it's very dangerous to have him against someone that's hurt and not thrown back, whereas Fury recovers extremely well. He's got one of the best chins in the sport, so let him carry on. Is it a case of should it be that? No,
because then you're bending the rules of health and safety. I do agree with Ajax and because it's one of them where if you start taking into account what a fighter can take, realistically, you're not the fighter.
No.
So
you never know.
you haven't got their chin. You don't know. Nobody knows what that fighter can take apart from the person taking the punch.
Yeah.
And even then, the fighters themselves don't know when to stop, and they're a danger to themselves. So I think if you go with that concept, you put the fighters at risk, and it will cause more injuries. And, you know, I don't like saying it, but it could cause more serious injuries leading to death.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you never know how much damage a fighter's taken in their last fight. So, yeah, no, it shouldn't be done like that. It was, I think the stoppage was correct. I also think Parker could have continued, but he wasn't throwing back. And Fabio Wardley is an animal. Like we've seen him literally cave the skull of Fraser Clark. So if we can avoid him to do that, we should. It shouldn't let him go on like that. So
it's a shame because he was losing that fight up until the point of that, in my opinion. Clearly, Joseph Parker is the better, still is the better boxer. But you know, we saw this in Wardley's last fight, losing the fight against Hooney, threw a punch from the gods and put him down. He couldn't get up. Yeah. You know, he's got that power, so it makes him a dangerous heavyweight. I will say one thing though, you know, as you climb up to the elite levels and you start meeting now the heavyweights, the big top fives, top fours, top threes. I know Joseph Parker was in that sort of field, but I'm talking about the other fighters he could potentially fight. Like, at this stage, if Wardley fights Moses Atalma, he'll lose.
No.
That's a guy...
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so.
I think so.
I'm not confident.
I think...
But Wardley has proved he can knock out Joseph Parker.
No,
Parker was the number 2 heavyweight in the world.
But
Wardley has just knocked him out.
Do you know what it is? This, you know, we spoke about this before in Atalma having the experienced fights before he jumps up to Usyk. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is one of them fights. Wardley is not, by a stretch, now out the picture because he's beat Parker, in my opinion, because convincingly wise, he didn't do it. He didn't it wasn't a convincing win in the sense of when you look at round to round.
No, I agree with that, but there's 2 sides to this, right? You can look at it and go, well, Parker was winning the rounds. This is a good point that the Thomas chin hasn't been tested. I do think it also is because nobody's been able to hit him.
Can we? Yeah, I think we should debunk that myth.
Hello, James.
How you doing, James? James,
nice.
Jamie. James Jameson,
yes.
sorry.
But what was I going to say? Yeah, so we should look at it from 2 points, right? One is Parker won. I think we had him up very, very convincingly. It wasn't a close fight. I think maybe Wardley had 3 rounds, maybe 7-3, something like that. But there's the other side to it, which is Wardley knows he can knock you out. So he only needs to win 1 round. Like that, Deontay Wilder made a career off it, and Wardley's resume is already better than Wilder's.
Until Wilder started fighting people better than him, and he got exposed.
But Wardley's just done that. Wardley's just fought someone better than him.
No, I know, but I'm saying I think the Wilder comparison is different because Wilder built a career out of fighting mid-level boxers. Maybe Fury, Luis Ortiz. I don't even put Stiverne in a high category, even though he was.
No, you're right. Wilder's resume is massively padded. It's still very impressive, but it's only impressive because he managed to knock them all out, par 1. But Wilder was always going to get beaten by Furies and Parkers and Zhangs. It was always going to happen, and it will now. He's not that much better anymore. But Wardley's career path is very different. What Wardley's got David Adley. No matter what you think of him, it was a dangerous fight at the time. He took it on.
No, David, for the level, David Adley is a good fight.
Yeah.
It's a good fight.
And you got Fraser Clark, who it was really just Olympian versus white collar boxer who will win, and they had a draw, but it was one of the best fights of the year. And then he's gone in there, and in round 13, round 1, whatever you want to call it, he's literally caved the guy's skull.
So let me ask you this question then, and this is for everyone watching as well.
Yeah.
All those boxers you mentioned, bar Parker, were all British level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
No, very good prospects. Like Adelaide has moved on from British since, but I'm saying to you, at the time they were British level fighters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Moses Atauma fought Dillian White, and a Dillian White different to obviously what we've seen previously. But Dillian White ain't been stopped like that for I don't know how long. Yeah, the way Dillian White got stopped in that fight. But I would say, in hindsight, when we look at it, Moses needs more experience. Usyk straight after Parker, when a fight ago he didn't believe, from what I took from the interview he done in the ring after the Huni fight, he said, "I'm no Usyk." To me, that's somebody you don't believe you're at that level yet. He's fought Parker, beaten Parker.
Yeah.
You've got so many heavyweights there. My thing is, if he's not fighting them, is it because of the fear of obviously being in the position that Parker's in and losing that mandatory spot? You want to win a world heavyweight title, I get it, but is he ready? No. He's not ready because he's not fit. He's not fitter than Usyk. There's not. I don't know.
Nobody is. Nobody is.
No. I know, but
I don't think anyone's quicker. There's definitely nobody smarter. Nobody's fitter. Like, you could even argue that nobody hits as hard as Usyk, because when he wants to, and he sees the opportunity, Usyk takes you out. It doesn't matter who you are; he will knock you out.
No, I get that, but commercially, think of it like this: yeah, if we believe that Wardley is ready for Parker, ultimately, Wardley is going to be a danger to a lot of heavyweights in the division. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like James just said, big money fights is the correct decision to go and fight Usyk and lose, because he will lose. He will lose against Usyk, and then push back down when he could really capitalize from this.
Right.
And think of the bigger picture. Go and have one or two more fights, or one fight before the Usyk fight, strengthen your position there, and then go and fight Usyk. But commercially, that makes sense. If he goes straight to Usyk and loses, where does he go from there?
But I think a loss to Usyk is actually, it doesn't mean much, because it in the same way, right? Fury, in my opinion, Tyson Fury is just as much of a legend as he is now as he was before the Usyk fight, because Usyk is so much better. Wardley should fight Usyk. I agree, by the way. I do think he'll lose. But let's turn time back 1 week ago. We were sat here saying Parker's going to beat Wardley. And then on the zone, they had the fan predictions thing come up in the corner. And it was 82% said that Parker was going to beat Wardley. I know we're talking different kettle of fish here when we talk about Usyk. But as James has just put in there, Usyk, he is a whole different level.
There are better. I love Parker, yeah, but in hindsight, when we talk about the levels of what Wardley stepped up to world level now, yeah, very deservedly so, he's beaten Parker. Parker's been here before, though, before Wardley. He lost against. He's lost a couple of times.
AJ White, yeah. And Joe Joyce, just the big one.
Joe Joyce. He's lost against Joe Joyce. What Parker's been here before. Put him in front of someone, I think, a bit more dangerous than Parker. Offer something different, size. I don't think it is a smart idea to go and fight Usyk next. I just don't. I know it's a case of when is the right time.
There's not going to be one.
No, there isn't. But like, what you're telling me is next year, 2026. In that year, they can't organize a Usyk fight for later on in the year. So you're telling me Wardley's only going to fight once next year?
Oh, of course they can, but there's a fairy tale story going on with Fabio Wardley, a guy that fought on charity events, and there's footage of him in those events, and it's white collar. He's no amateur experience fighting Oleksandr Usyk, the two-time undisputed unified cruiserweight and then world champion, or 3 times, sorry, because he did it twice at heavyweight, who has beaten everyone, and then has a 396-5 amateur record.
So hear me out. He's got 330. So this is what I'm saying to you. This is where we need to take time. We're talking about the same thing with Moses. Moses is in a different position. He's 20. I get it. Fabio's a bit older. But we are talking about putting in Fabio Wardley against Oleksandr Usyk, a man who has 335 wins as an amateur.
Yeah,
I think he's lost 2012. Yeah, I think he only lost. Yeah, from what I see, he lost 15 times. 2011 World Championships and 2012 gold medal at the gold medals at the World Championships and the Olympics. Then went on to be undisputed at cruiserweight, undisputed at heavyweight twice. Yeah. Is this fight going to be too soon? I think a fight now with Usyk doesn't do anything for him other than weaken his position. I really don't.
I promise you, there's 2-1. The champion needs a fight. Usyk wants to keep fighting until he's 41. He needs a fight. I don't think Moses should be included yet. We really don't. We'll talk about Dillian White in a second anyway, because he's obviously December 13th. We might be seeing him return against Chisora.
I like that last comment because I agree with this one, you know.
But I'm not here saying that it's not. I am 100% sure in my heart of hearts, as much as I would love to see Fabio do it, I cannot see a way that Usyk doesn't beat him. But the champion needs a fight. Fabio Wardley is on a hot streak right now. He is one of the hottest things in the division. He's doing things that other fighters are not doing at the moment. He's active.
Mm-hmm.
He sells tickets. He's just done the O2 with Joseph Parker, but he's just done the O2. So there's no reason that there's not a stadium fight there for him if he fought Usyk. What do you mean by hot? I mean, as in like the American way, where a basketball player is hot, it's because they keep scoring. Not any other way. Yeah. Anyway, the point is he sells tickets at the moment. He's in the media a lot. He's doing loads of interviews, and he's mandatory. And Usyk's other mandatories are either fighting each other, or they've got a fight booked in Germany. And by the way, Ajit Kabayel is not ready for Usyk.
So you know, so hear me out. Yeah,
nobody's ready for Usyk. Every fight for Usyk is a mismatch.
No problem. But what I'm trying to say to you is, if now Wardley fights against Usyk, loses against Usyk, who is he going to fight next? Because he's not going to get the Ajit Kabayel fight. He's not going to get Lawrence Okoli. These guys are all one or just below Fabio in terms of the rankings. He's going to drop down in those rankings. Then them fighters are going to go, nah, you're all right. We're above you now.
But but that's a story as old as time in boxing.
No, I know, but just saying, you've got to be smart about your position. As I said,
I agree. But I think when the opportunity comes of fighting the undisputed, like a legendary fighter, a fighter that in 50 years' time you'll hear fighters saying, "I wish I could have experienced sparring him." That is the level Usyk is. He is the Ali of this era. People now still talk about Ali and say they'd love to have shared rounds with him, even if they don't think they win. So with Wardley, we're also forgetting the big thing right now, which is the biggest paycheck in the sport is against Usyk.
Or
in the division, really. I mean, obviously there's Joshua, and I know Fury came back. There are others, but
the commercial value is a good point of mentioning that. Wardley is not on the same commercial level as the likes of Joshua's, the Furies.
No.
I'd even say Daniel Dubois. To be fair,
but it sets you for life, mate. Like you
of
fight
course,
Usyk,
it's a big earner. You're set for life, but you come away from it. You've lost a fight. You're down in the rankings, and then you're chasing fights.
Yeah, but that's okay.
With people, but you know how boxing is, isn't it? But yeah. Obviously, we're rambling on a bit, but yeah, this is an interesting one. You guys need to let us know what you think because, yeah, man, I Wardley fighting Usyk next is a likely outcome of what's going to happen. But that fight only goes one way, in my opinion. I can't see any. I agree with Connor. I can't see currently any heavyweight beating Oleksandr Usyk for as long as he decides he wants the belts.
Yeah,
he'll release the belt and then win it back.
Yeah, I think the only way is Moses Atama, and I think we're still talking a few years time. Usyk has to be older, and I think Atama has to be more experienced. Otherwise,
I don't think there is a boxer in the heavyweight division that, like Moses, that we're going to see in the next couple of years. And Wardley's going to be in this bracket with the Dubois and everyone that moves like Atama. And I know people talk about his chin not being tested, yeah. But let's be brutally honest with you, yeah. For you don't get into boxing to get hit. No one wants to have their chin tested. So if you could avoid doing that, like some of the great fighters we've seen do it for long periods of time, Floyd Mayweather, one of the best, if not the best, depends where you put him.
Yeah. But Floyd had a chin. Floyd did have a chin.
You never really found out a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, you don't want to find out if you've got a chin. Do you get it? I think Moses Atama said in an interview, he goes like said he's got like he was speaking to a couple of the boxers ringside and said about chins, and they were like, I'd rather not find out.
Yeah,
it's kind of like you're not in there to get hit. The boxing fans have got this fascination, not all of them, but some of them. Boxing fans have got this fascination that he's not proper until he's like been smacked in the chin, and then we'll just see if he wobbles or not. Like it's the most basic, bottom of the barrel, like stupid opinion anyone can have of a fighter, because anyone that's boxed or anyone that's watched boxing and soaked it all up, you don't want to have your chin tested. It's not. You're not meant to get hit in the head. But they're getting hit.
True.
You're right. I don't think there's anyone that at the moment and for the foreseeable that is going to be good enough to test Atama's chin.
Yeah. I think that's going to be one we need to see more comments about. I've kind of done a whole U-turn on it. Here we go. If I was Team Fabio, I'd tell him to fight 2 or 3 fights against top 10, then he'd be ready for Usyk, or Usyk, he might become a world champion. That would be a great fairy tale. I don't disagree. Absolutely understand the logic. But look what's just happened to Joseph Parker, who didn't, and he tried, but he didn't get the Usyk fight through one way or another. And now it realistically looks like he'll never get it. Usyk is the money fighter at the moment, and he's the world champion. I think that's the only fight that makes sense. 2 or 3 fights against the top 10. Let's look at the top 10. This is BoxRec's top 10, so it's slightly... I don't necessarily agree with it all. But you're saying that Wardley's going to fight one of Cabile, Dubois, Okoli, Fury, Gassiev, Parker, Hrgovic, or Michael Hunter. And I'll throw F.A. Jagba in there just for the sake of Fury's technically retired. Every single one of those fights is a risk.
Yeah.
Don't get wrong. I think Wardley actually wins quite a few of them. I think he beat a Jagba. I think he beat Hunter. I think he beat Hrgovic. We know he beat Parker. Gassiev's not young. Probably beats him. But and then Okoli, Dubois, Cabile are interesting fights. Okoli really can't tell.
What's interesting is obviously to remember as well, if these belts fall out, we're looking at Cabile being awarded a WBC heavyweight title. Fabio Wardley being awarded the WBO.
Yeah.
The IBF is vacant, like currently for number 1 below Usyk. So the IBF rankings look quite weak because I've got them up now, and the guy that I'm really interested in seeing, and hopefully we can see him match, obviously. And this would be a good fight for Atama because they're both on the same record as Richard Torres Jr.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good fight. That's a really good fight. Both undefeated. he's moved up to obviously 4th in the IBF rankings. Daniel Dubois 5th. Frank Sanchez is 2nd. 3rd. Sorry, Chisora is 2nd, and his number 1's vacant at the moment. You've got. It's weird because like Michael Hunter is still in the rankings. I don't remember the last time I've seen this guy fight. But he's dropped out the WBO rankings. But he is number 1 or a mandatory underneath. So this is where I've got a problem with boxing. So with the WBA, you've got a super world heavyweight champion in Usyk and a regular WBA world heavyweight champion. How have you got 2 world champions? Not mandatory, 2 world champions.
Yeah, they always have that. It doesn't count. And that's why Gervonta Davis is only a 1-time world champion, something like that.
But yeah, like there are some great fights. When you look at the heavyweight division, it's active. I'm really interested in watching, like I said to you, we're all talking about the British heavyweights, but Richard Torres Jr. is one to watch. He's really one to watch.
Definitely. There's a couple younger guys coming up that are good to watch. I still think Justice Huni will be good, but
you've got obviously the Albanian as well, Nelson Heiser.
Yeah, he is 41 or 40 though.
Yeah,
so he kind of needs to hurry up.
He needs to get a title shot soon, or he's done. But you've got a couple of undefeated fighters in there. You've got obviously Lenia Pero as well. He's 12-0 as well. So it's like there's a couple of undefeated guys in there that I think should all get chucked onto a Saudi card and just have it out. And Lenia Pero is 32, so he's still got time.
Well, we're seeing Pero this weekend against Jordan Thompson, which feels maybe if Huni had power, then he could be a world-class fighter. I think if Huni had power, I think we're talking about someone that would be within world title now. I mean, because he would have knocked Wardley out if he had power. That's a whole different story. He's as good as I think a Talma in just general boxing. He just can't annoyingly finish his dinner. That's the issue there. Lenia Pero is a good place to move on. I feel like we could be talking about Parker and Wardley all day and sort of the heavyweight division. We do have a new British addition to the division, and that is Jordan Thompson, who makes his debut at heavyweight this weekend in I want to say Florida, but I'm actually not sure it is Florida. Hold on. Orlando. Yeah, so he fights Lenia Pero. Not seen Thompson fight since he lost to Jaya Patel. Yeah, 2023.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling positive about this weekend. Lenia Pero's quite a scary guy from all the interviews. And I've watched little clips of him. I haven't done enough research just yet. Very potentially, probably not because it's in America, potentially would be watching it on Saturday night. It purely depends what I'm doing. So there's no promise there.
I can be about, to be fair. I've not got any plans, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see, yeah.
But Pero, from what I have seen, is he's a talented fighter. Jordan Thompson, I don't know, but it's a tough fight. The problem is the layoff is huge. Pero's been fairly active. Thompson has not, and we're talking new weight division, which not always is the answer. The undercard is brilliant. I think we've got a Queensbury show and a Matchroom show this weekend, and I think Matchroom's is I prefer it. It's honest. It feels honest. Thompson's not proven he's in a hard fight. Pat Brown is in a fairly hard fight against Felix Ferreira, who's 24-8. And then you've got Amari Jones, Nishant Dev, and Carlos Castro. And then Ryan Santiago making his debut. I think Ryan Santiago, I read an article about, could be in Puerto Rican. Sounds right. I don't know. If we do the live stream, I'll definitely have the information on him. But look, the point is, it's very honest. It's people basically making their 4th, 5th fight. it's, you know what you're going to get. More than likely, it's going to be more knockouts than anything else. Pat Brown is really one to watch.
Pat Brown is Matchroom are really pushing him. Obviously, coming from the same sort of stable as Dave Allen as well. Essentially, partners in crime, really. But Dave Allen obviously speaks very highly of him, and it's interesting to see where he goes. Division's tough, man. That division's really tough.
Yeah.
So, like I said to you, if he gets a good win this weekend, he's stepping up a bit in opposition, a bit tougher. Maybe you want to hope, because he needs to start getting into those fights now to see where he's really at. Because I think in that cruiser division, there's no room for error, because there are really so many good fighters in that cruiserweight division.
Yeah. Vera has he's lost 8 times, only lost twice by knockout, which is important to know, and he's got 22 knockouts to his name. 21 knockouts, sorry, that he's got by 24 wins, 21 knockouts. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Allen is bang average. Maybe, I think he's British level. I don't know if that's what you say is average. Fine, I agree.
Fair summary, maybe, of him in a sense of where his ceiling is. I can understand. Yeah. Not bang average is not the word I'd use, but his ceiling is British level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd like to see him win the British title, because I'll tell you what, I think him and Fraser Clark will be a much better fight with this better version of Dave Allen, and him versus Jamie TKV. I think they're winnable fights from. That's a whole different type. The point is, Matchroom got a good show on this weekend, and speaking of I was going to say cruiserweights, but that's actually completely wrong. Queensbury. Buatsi Parker.
Buatsi back in this weekend.
Yeah. Great fight.
Yeah.
And not a fight that either of them needed to take, in my opinion. I think they could have both got away with much easier fights than this.
I don't think it would do any justice maybe to Parker, Buatsi, and especially Buatsi, where he's at now, where the easier fights are not what you want, especially in that light heavyweight division, which I say is mad tough. We talk about Benavidez being in there now as well.
Yeah.
That adds to a really tough division. There's still tough fighters in that division. I still think when you talk about the British fighters, Yard's fighting again, chasing glory in he's got a big fight obviously against Benavidez, but we talk about even the gatekeepers, maybe not gatekeepers, but the guys that Buatsi could be fighting that could be good matchups. You still got Lyndon Arthur there.
Yep. And then Arthur fights as well.
So that's a tough fight for anyone. You're guaranteed to be in a tough fight with Lyndon Arthur. And it's not a guarantee you could lose that fight. So I think as well, Queensbury obviously are building Buatsi up again. But this is another story of, obviously, this was another fighter who, correct me if I'm wrong, went sort of slipped through the promotions. Recently, obviously, fighting for boxer.
Matchroom, Boxer, and Queensbury all within about 2 years. Various contract issues and all sorts that we don't really know about, but
I think
it got a bit messy.
I think the issue with Boxer in the end was simply he left at the right time because they lost the Sky deal, and they've gone over to the BBC, which I think is good at the moment for a short-term solution. It's good to build up fighters get their names out there, but a long-term solution, fighters want to be going to the bigger promotions that have the bigger deals, the zones. Queensbury and Matchroom are on the zone now. The zone is the platform you want to fight on. You're probably going to get more money for it. So it makes sense for Buatsi to go to Queensbury.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a tough fight. Zach Parker, I think, very disrespected, and I understand why. He's broke his hand a few times. He's not always been the best to watch in the last few years. But up until Well, he's 26-1, and his only loss comes to John Ryder when I believe he did break his hand in the ring. So he's, in a pretty easy what-if moment, he's probably 27-0. In which case, we're talking about someone that would have fought for a world title. Buatsi obviously was in, you could argue, one of the fights of the year against Callum Smith, where he was close. He was just a little bit. It felt like the lack of fighting had finally caught up to Buatsi, whereas Callum Smith's been experienced. He's been in the big fights, fought some of the best opposition, and Buatsi hasn't. It felt that was the difference. This is a great fight. If I am free on Saturday, and you'll know probably tomorrow anyway, because we'll have a thing go up, that this could well be another watch along for the weekend, because it feels worth it. I will say, though, we are again looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fights on a Queensberry card. Now, they might be better. Liam Cameron returns since his pretty heavy loss to Ben Whittaker. Bradley Ray fights Lyndon Arthur. That's a great fight, or could be a great fight. On paper, it is. There's some good competitive fights in there. But 12 fights is just a lot, man. Look, if I was in the venue, I'd sit and watch every single one. Do you know what? I don't actually know why I'm complaining, because I'm looking at it now and it's actually pretty good. So, do you know what? I'm chatting out my arse there. I'm chatting complete bollocks. That's a good card. My bad. I take it all back. Look, I'm excited. Buatsi Parker's brilliant. The winner of that can go and fight another. The winner of it could fight Lyndon Arthur, maybe. Does that make sense if Lyndon Arthur wins as well?
Yeah.
Because really,
light heavyweight division's another one though where it's a bit tough at the moment because the belts are being held hostage.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the way that, can we? How much longer, with all due respect, can we go before the belts start falling down?
Well, Bivol's had a legitimate excuse. Benavidez obviously fights Anthony Yard defending the WBC. Bivol's got all the others, but Bivol provided his medical to the boards, and it's a legitimate injury, so he's been allowed sort of extra time before he has to fight or vacate. 12 fights on the undercard. Not on the undercard, including the main event. So quite a few. If we do a live, it will not be
to the usual sort of 7 or 8 fights that are normally on a pro card.
A lot of 4-rounders, though. In fairness, 6 4-rounders. So it's not too bad. And even the main event's only 10. So it'd probably be shorter than the Parker Wardley event. But quite a long card. Yeah, you are right. The belts are tied up. So whilst we can, we might as well be getting these Buatsi Parkers, some fights of that sort of level.
Not a fan of it, but get these interim title shots given to people where they're there to be used in it. But again, this is the big issue with having too many belts, I think, in the divisions, which I think because people are playing their positions politically or strategically now, it affects the rest of the division. So I don't, it's interesting because the concept of obviously, and I know we haven't really spoke about it, but it links to what I'm about to say, the concept of what Dana White is bringing with his boxing league, if you want to call it. Was it Zafar boxing?
Yeah.
Where it's like the UFC, similar model to the UFC, isn't it?
Is it Zafar boxing? Zafar boxing.
Zafar boxing.
Zafar, yeah. ZUFFA for anyone that's Yeah.
It will be interesting. That will be a division or a promotion that will be to nurture new talent, raw talent, and probably create names like Dana White has done with the UFC. The model doesn't work at the moment in the boxing sense because you've got a legit boxing rankings. So is a conflict of interest. But I suppose if we're moaning about the belts being held up, this is a solution to it. This new form of boxing. So embrace it, learn about new fighters that we've never heard of, and see who's the best of those bunches. It'd be interesting because they're all going to be under contract as well.
Yeah, so he's just for. I mean, we won't go into it as much, but Dana White, not basically last month, said there will be a Zuffer belt, which by the way sounds rubbish. Zuffer needs to change. That title's shit. Zuffer belt. Then there will be a ring belt. I will not recognise any of the sanctioning bodies. So he's apparently going to sign around 200 fighters. He's going to put 12 events on next year. And the fighters he's signing are going to be sort of Olympians or amateurs coming out, older talent, and just any boxer that's sort of at the end of their contract. He'll put an offer in and see if they want to fight. Every time everybody puts on about it actually cheapens the actual chat.
I like that.
Yeah, 100%.
It does cheapen a belt, but that's where I think, like you talk about the situation with the heavyweight belt, which is the WBA. Is it the WBA where you've got the regular?
Yeah.
And that
super
one is not as recognised as the more prestigious belts like the WBC, IBF, that sort of thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ring,
of course.
how can you even forget Ring? Ring's like the most important one out of them.
Yeah. I mean, Ring's the one they need to give it if they think the fight's worth it. I do like that.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, that's kind of boxing this week. The only last thing I want to talk about is another Queensbury show we might be seeing. It was kind of teased last Saturday, and that is Derek Chisora versus Dillian White, the trilogy for December 13th. It does look like
it's going ahead.
Typical.
I can't hear you now. There you go.
Oh, anyone that was watching on Saturday night would have seen they brought Chisora and Dillian White out at the same time, almost trying to do somewhat of a face-off. And then it looked like it went a bit pear-shaped to me. It looked like Chisora basically almost agreed verbally beforehand and then decided he wanted more money.
I think they're in two different places, and I think I saw that with the Atama fight. Dillian White has changed as a fighter. Like, he's very savvy about the media. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but Chisora's there. He's at all the events. He's liaising with everyone. Dillian White is kind of, when he's not fighting, he's just riding dirt bikes in Portugal. So that's where he lives. And I think the glitz and glamour outside of the ring, Dillian White doesn't care for anymore. We saw that in the build-up to Atama and Dillian White. Dillian White just wasn't bothered. He was just like, he's been boxing for so long, he understands the game. And I genuinely think, third time round, this fight doesn't end any differently. I think Dillian White beats Chisora.
I disagree, I'll be honest. I think Chisora will beat him. But I'd be surprised if it even happens December 13th. I think Chisora is still holding out for a world title shot in his 50th fight. Or another world title shot, because he did technically fight Fury for it back in 2022, which I was at. That was cool to be there, but not the best fight. It was. I mean, it'd be cool to see that happen, especially December 13th. It's a good. I don't know. I don't even. I mean, which is always weird, man. It's just weird. Like, you never know.
They're both coming towards the end of their careers. We can see that, right? It's
they're both.
They're
there, aren't they?
I'm actually not saying. I actually think Dillian White will probably box a bit longer than Chisora. Chisora's gonna retire, but we got to remember how long Chisora's been boxing for. Like, I watched Chisora. I'm 31. I watched Chisora fight David Haye. And how long ago was that?
A while ago. Jesus, that would have been early 2010s, right? 2012, something like that. Bricked Up will sell Chizzy versus White's pay-per-view. 100% it will be. Shouldn't be, but it 100% will be. There's no need to talk about that fight for too much because it's not confirmed. But it looks like December 13th that fight will happen.
Chisora fought David Haye in 2012. It's mental.
2012.
2012, sorry. 2012. I'm going mental. I had a brain glitch there. I don't know, man. Like it will be a good event. It will be because it's White and Chisora, but it is kind of what it is. It's not. Let's not sugarcoat what it is. Yeah,
it feels like the build up to that will be far better than the actual fight, if I'm in all honesty. But we are due a fight where the fighters actually don't like each other. We've not actually had that for a little while. Yeah. I can't remember a one where the fighters really didn't like each other and it showed in the ring. Maybe Conor Ben Eubank was probably the last one I remember, and that was a brilliant fight. So I do like those from time to time.
What about Joshua and Dillian Whyte?
Yeah, but that's 2016. That's a better fight though. I prefer that fight as well because I do think Dillian Whyte is. Although I guess Chisora technically is at a higher level right now. Chisora's beaten. Is Chisora not technically IBF eliminator, or is he? He's something.
Yeah, no, he's number 2. There's the number 1 is not. So he's 2 on the IBF rankings. Number 1, right. There's no one there. He's next in line though, if you want to be technical, but. They've actually got no one for the number 1 slot. He's ranked
so he's not mandatory then. He's just highest ranked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll probably know more about that next week because that does need to be announced soon. I mean, that's 6 weeks away, 6.5 weeks away from now.
Yes.
Obviously, a 6-week fight camp is pretty standard, but. Let's see, because I think if it goes past the 8th of November and we've not got that announced, I don't think it'll be announced. I would not be surprised if it is announced this Saturday at Buatsi Parker. It's a Queensbury show. It would make sense. 6 weeks away, bang on. Why not? But I think that's everything for boxing this week. Little thing to mention is Giorgio Visioli has he's got a fight lined up. For December 17th against Joe Howarth, who's a Dave Allen fighter. It looks like a good card, good fight, good prospects. I've got a feeling December 17th is a Wednesday.
That card, if I'm not mistaken, also has been announced. Main event as Elisora.
Co-main event, yeah. Elisora versus. Oh my god. Should know that. Who's he fighting?
I was looking at this the other day.
It's is it John Hedges? That's the one.
Yeah, I'm
for
excited.
The English cruiserweight title.
The bias in me now because Elisora is I know Ellis and I'm rooting for him to get the win. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, can't even ask me what come fight we're going to talk about it, but Ellis to win. Ellis, he got cheated out of his last fight, Connor. He got cheated out of his last fight against Alois Jr.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Sorry, massively. He's fighting on a Matchroom show, Ellis.
Yeah.
And Ellis was previously Queensbury, or fighting on Queensbury shows. So I know I haven't asked him, but I'm guessing he's moved over to fight on this specific card, or I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'd imagine because of their relationship, Queensbury and Matchroom, maybe they're able to allow that kind of fighters moving across, or Ellis has left Queensbury. I can't even confirm that.
No, the impression, or from what I've sort of read, and there's not too much on it, but the understanding I've got is if he were to beat John Hedges, he'll become a Matchroom fighter. There's the basis from that, and the sources are not the most reliable, so that could be rubbish, but it wouldn't be a massive sort of shock. Right. in all fairness, people, I think, yeah, that is boxing this week. 67.
We have, and before we finish, Conor think I was going to forget about it. We're going to VAR. So, pulling back Conor for a comment earlier on in the episode, we will not be stiffing anyone. Okay. So VAR pulls that one back, and you get a yellow card.
I get a yellow card. Right. Okay.
Yeah, yellow card. We are now bringing VAR, and I'm probably going to get carded a lot, to be fair, because I say some wild stuff. I should have got a free match ban for that reel.
Yes, 100%. I think people agree with you.
The bang bus of heavyweights.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
I've got a free match ban for that. I almost got like a Suarez type ban for that kind of video. It's crazy. It was literally me, just for clarity for people, describing that Fabio Wardley should do the rounds with all the heavyweights and take maybe a business page out of Bonnie Blue's book, but not do what Bonnie Blue's doing, but I call it Tour de Bonnie Blue, but fight.
Tell you what, we ever want to do interviews with fighters, again, it's just going to be such a hard, if anyone sees this stuff, mate, we are done.
But is this the only one where I think it separates us. It separates us from because we are a fan-based channel where we do talk about boxing.
No, I agree.
People are not always going to like what you've got to say, but I weren't here to impress people before I'd done the boxing. I'm not here to suck up to people now. If you like me, like me. If you don't, do you know what I mean? But you're right, though.
Ending to the week.
Yeah, you're right.
For the boxing this week. Yeah, okay, that is 67, boxing this week, 67 done. We will be back next Thursday, 7:45.
Thank you for everyone tuning in.
And potentially you will see us on Saturday night covering Buatsi versus Zach Parker on another Queensbury show. 2 weeks, 2 shows.
Yes, sir.
I will not be doing the American show, watching and staying up for that, but there's always a chance. You'll know on Saturday night if that's happening. I don't think so. But Buatsi Parker, Saturday night, then next Thursday, 7:45. Boxing this week, 68. And there'll be a lot to talk about because there kind of always is towards the end of the year. Thank you very much. Remember, it's here anyway, so you would have been reading it the whole time, but £50 Amazon gift card giveaway is still going. We've had good growth on the channel recently, but we are not quite at 500, so you can still enter and try to win. We have a long list of names. Keep going. It'll be announced live. Jameson is, I don't know, legend of the week. That can be a thing now because he's commented so much. AJ was legend of the week last week. We will separate it each. I don't know. I'm waffling now, but yeah, Paolo, anything you want to say?
Connor's camera's getting tired, so on a good note,
yeah, it has, yeah.
It'd be good to end because Connor's camera's losing focus. So on that note, good night, people, and we will see you maybe Saturday, but definitely next week, same time. Yeah. Be here, tune in, VAR, boxing, we've got it all. Good night. Nice.